The massive doors of the Galactic Council chamber opened with a deep rumble. Ambassador Hyunwoo walked inside with steady steps. His black suit looked simple compared to the colorful robes and strange armor worn by the alien representatives. Behind him walked Ji-hoon, the Earth's military leader, and So-young, who managed all human colonies across the galaxy. The chamber was huge. It could hold thousands of beings. Giant screens showed the faces of alien leaders from across the known universe. Some had tentacles instead of arms. Others looked like walking crystals that sparkled in the light. A few were just clouds of gas floating in special containers. Hyunwoo had been Earth's voice in this place for 5 years. He had made friends with some aliens and enemies with others. Today felt different. Today the air felt heavy with danger. The Fourth Act Chancellor stood up from his throne-like chair. His skin was green and covered with small scales. His 4 eyes glowed red as he looked down at the human delegation. Ambassador Hyunwoo of the primitive planet Earth, he said in his deep voice. You and your species have caused enough trouble. Murmurs filled the chamber. Aliens whispered to each other in dozens of different languages. Hyunwoo noticed how they all avoided looking at him directly. They were afraid, he realized. They were afraid of what humans might do next. For the past 3 years, human colonies had been growing faster than any other species in galactic history. Humans built cities on worlds that other aliens thought were impossible to live on. They created new technologies that made old alien inventions look like toys. They traded with everyone and somehow always got the better deals. The Council has been patient, continued the Chancellor. His voice echoed through the chamber. We allowed your species to join our civilization. We shared our knowledge with you. We gave you the gift of faster-than-light travel. And how do you repay us? So-young stepped forward slightly. She wanted to speak, but Hyunwoo held up his hand. He knew this speech was planned. The Chancellor had probably practiced it for weeks. Your expansion threatens the natural order, the alien leader continued. You build on worlds that have been empty for good reasons. You create weapons that upset the balance of power. You refuse to follow the rules that have kept peace in this galaxy for 10,000 years. Ji-hoon's hand moved toward his weapon. The aliens noticed this, and several guards stepped forward. They carried energy weapons that could kill a human instantly, but Ji-hoon was not worried. Human military technology had advanced far beyond what the aliens knew about. Therefore, the Chancellor announced, the Galactic Council has decided on the following terms. You will immediately stop all expansion to new worlds. You will surrender your faster-than-light technology to Council control. You will reduce your military by 90%, and you will accept Council oversight of all your activities. The chamber fell silent. Every alien representative stared at the humans. They expected shock, anger, or fear. They had given ultimatums like this to other species before. Some had fought and been destroyed. Others had accepted and became puppet states under alien control. You have 30 standard days to comply, the Chancellor added. If you refuse, the Council will consider humanity a threat to galactic peace. We will take action to protect all civilized species from your aggression. Hyunwoo listened to every word. He had expected this day would come. Earth's leaders had prepared for it. They had run computer simulations of what would happen. They had made secret plans that not even their closest alien allies knew about. The Chancellor sat back down, looking satisfied. Around the chamber, alien representatives nodded their heads or made sounds of agreement. The aquatic Neridians bubbled in their water tanks. The crystalline Zephyrians chimed like bells. The gas cloud skywalkers pulsed with different colors. They were all sure the humans would have no choice but to accept. Every other species in galactic history had accepted. That was how the galaxy worked. The strong gave orders to the weak. The old races controlled the new ones. It had always been this way. So-young looked worried. Ji-hoon looked angry. The alien guards moved closer, ready for violence. Media drones from across the galaxy recorded everything, waiting to broadcast. Humanity's surrender to billions of viewers. Then something unexpected happened. Hyunwoo smiled. It was not a happy smile or a friendly smile. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret that nobody else knew. He looked around the chamber slowly. meeting the eyes of as many alien representatives as possible. "No," he said, simply. The word hung in the air like a bomb that had not exploded yet. "Excuse me?" the Chancellor said. His 4 eyes blinked in confusion. "I said no," Hyun-woo repeated, louder this time. "We reject your terms. All of them." Laughter began somewhere. In the back of the chamber, it spread quickly. Soon hundreds of aliens were laughing at the foolish humans who thought they could refuse the Council's demands. But Hyun-woo was not finished speaking. "Furthermore," he continued, his voice cutting through the laughter, "humanity withdraws from the Galactic Council immediately. We revoke all treaties, all trade agreements, and all diplomatic relations. As of this moment, we owe you nothing and you owe us nothing." The laughter stopped. The chamber became so quiet that Hyun-woo could hear the bubbling of the Neridian water tanks. "Effective immediately," he went on. "All human personnel will evacuate from Council territories. All human-built facilities will be shut down. All human technology will be removed or destroyed. We are going home." The Chancellor's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. This had never happened before. No species had ever walked away from the Council. It was impossible. No one could survive outside the galactic community. "You cannot do this," the Chancellor finally said. "You will die without our protection. Your primitive species cannot survive alone." Hyun-woo's smile grew wider. "We will see about that." He turned to leave. So-young and Ji-hoon followed him. Their footsteps echoed in the silent chamber. Every alien representative watched them go, too shocked to speak. As they reached the massive doors, Hyun-woo paused. He looked back one last time at the beings who thought they ruled the galaxy. "Good luck," he said. "You are going to need it." The doors closed behind them with a final boom. The humans were gone, leaving the Galactic Council to stare at empty space and wonder what they had just done. Captain Min-ho stood on the bridge of the Soul's Pride and watched the biggest moving operation in galactic history. Through the main window, he could see hundreds of human ships leaving the orbital station around Kepler 442b. Cargo vessels, passenger transports, and military escorts filled the space around the planet like a metal cloud. "Status report," he called out to his crew. 237 ships have cleared the station," reported Navigator Da-eun from her control station. "Estimated departure time for the last convoy is 18 hours. Min-ho nodded. It had been only 2 weeks since Ambassador Hyun-woo walked out of the council chamber, but humans across the galaxy were moving fast. Every colony, every trading post, every research station was being evacuated. It was the largest movement of people in recorded history. The aliens had not believed it would really happen. For the first few days after the council meeting, alien news reports laughed about human stubbornness. They said humans would come back begging within a week. Some alien traders even started making plans to buy human colonies at cheap prices. They stopped laughing when the first human facilities went dark. "Captain," Communications Officer Woo Jin called from his station. "We are getting signals from the Narration patrol ships. They want to inspect our cargo." Min-ho looked at the alien vessels on his screen. 3 blue ships shaped like sea creatures floated nearby. The Neridians were aquatic beings who controlled most of the water worlds in this sector. They thought, they owned everything here. "Tell them we are leaving council space," Min-ho replied. "They have no authority to stop us." "They are saying we might be stealing council technology," Woo Jin reported. Min-ho almost laughed. The aliens still did not understand. They thought humans were dependent on alien technology. They thought human machines would not work without alien help. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Show them our cargo manifest," he ordered. "Everything we are taking belongs to Earth." On the planet below, Engineer Tae-sung was finishing the last phase of evacuation protocol. He stood in the control room of the massive fusion reactor that powered the entire colony. The aliens had always wondered how humans could build such efficient power systems. Now they would find out what happened when humans were not around to maintain them. "Scorched Earth Protocol initiated," he announced to his team. "All systems will shut down in 30 minutes. His assistant Hee-jin looked worried. "Are we really going to destroy everything? This reactor cost billions of credits to build." Tae-sung shook his head. We are not destroying it. We are making it unusable to anyone except humans. There is a difference. Every piece of human technology had been designed with this day in mind. Earth scientists had built secret programming into every computer, every machine, every weapon. If humans were forced to leave, nothing they had created would work for anyone else. The alien species had made a mistake. They thought technology was just metal and electronics that anyone could use. They did not understand that human technology was designed to recognize human biosignatures, human DNA, human brain patterns. Without humans around, it was just expensive junk. In space, Fleet Commander So Young coordinated the evacuation from her command ship. She watched as human families said goodbye to worlds they had called home for decades. Children who had been born on alien planets were leaving the only homes they had ever known. But nobody complained. Every human understood what was happening. The aliens had tried to make them slaves. The only answer was to leave and show the galaxy what happened when humans were not around to fix everything. "Ma'am," her aide Chang Min reported, "the Cloudwalker delegation is requesting a meeting. They say they want to negotiate." So Young was not surprised. The Cloudwalkers were gas beings who lived in the upper atmospheres of giant planets. Their floating cities needed constant maintenance from human engineers. Without that maintenance, their cities would fall into the deadly lower atmosphere. "Tell them there is nothing to negotiate," she replied. They had their chance in the council chamber. The communications officer looked uncomfortable. "They are offering to pay triple rates for human technical support." "Not interested." "They are also offering territorial concessions." "Still not interested." They are begging, ma'am." So Young felt a moment of sadness. She had worked with the Cloudwalkers for years. Some of them had been friends. But friendship meant nothing when they supported the Council's ultimatum. "The decision has been made," she said firmly. "All humans are going home." On the surface of New Busan, a mining world rich in rare crystals, the last human workers were packing their equipment. Supervisor Jin Woo watched as massive excavation machines shut down one by one. These machines had made the aliens wealthy by mining crystals that their own technology could not reach. "What about the maintenance contracts?" asked his foreman Kyung-ho. "The Zephyrians paid us for the next 5 years. They can keep their money," Jinwoo replied. "They will need it to try fixing their own equipment." The crystalline Zephyrians had already tried to operate the human mining machines, but the machines would not start. The control systems displayed error messages in human languages. The safety protocols prevented anyone without human authorization from accessing the operating systems. Similar scenes were happening on hundreds of worlds. Human doctors left alien hospitals, taking with them medical knowledge that had saved millions of eBay alien lives. Human teachers left alien schools carrying away educational methods that had revolutionized alien learning. Human artists left alien cultural centers, ending creative collaborations that had produced the galaxy's most beautiful works. Each departure left a hole that the aliens had not expected. Back on the Soul's Pride, Captain Minho received a priority message from Earth Command. He read it twice to make sure he understood correctly. "Set course for the Sol system," he announced to his crew. "Maximum speed." Navigator Da-un looked puzzled. "Sir, our scheduled rendezvous is at the Centauri outpost." "Change of plans?" Minho replied. "We are going home. All of us." As human ships across the galaxy received similar orders, something unprecedented began to happen. Every human vessel, every human station, every human outpost started moving toward the same destination: Earth's solar system. The aliens watched in growing alarm as humanity performed the greatest withdrawal in galactic history. They had expected scattered groups of humans to beg for permission to stay. Instead, they saw a coordinated evacuation that moved with military precision. Some alien leaders still believed humans would change their minds. They sent diplomatic messages offering better terms. They promised equal representation in the council. They offered trade deals that would make humans wealthy beyond imagination. The humans did not even reply. As the last human ship left council territory, alien news networks tried to make sense of what they had witnessed. Military experts analyzed human ship movements and found them impossible to predict. Economic analysts calculated the financial damage and came up with numbers too large to believe. But the strangest thing was the silence. For the first time in decades, human voices were not heard in council debates. Human solutions were not offered for galactic problems. Human innovations were not being shared with alien civilizations. The galaxy suddenly seemed much quieter and much darker than it had been before. 6 months had passed since the humans left. Chancellor Vorthak stared at the reports covering his desk and felt something he had not experienced in centuries. Fear. The papers told a story of galactic collapse that grew worse every day. "Read me the latest casualty numbers," he ordered his aide. Zephyrian Crystal Gardens, 40% crop failure. Estimated deaths from starvation, 2 million and rising. Neridian birth rates, down 60%. Their population will begin declining within 2 years. Cloudwalker cities, 7 have already fallen into gas giant atmospheres, 3 million dead. The Chancellor closed his 4 eyes. When the humans had walked away, he had celebrated. The troublesome species was gone. The galaxy could return to the old ways of doing things. Order would be restored. He had been wrong. Terribly wrong. Dr. Haywan had been the head of medical research at the Galactic Health Institute before the evacuation. She had worked quietly for 15 years, developing treatments that saved lives across dozens of species. The aliens had thought her work was just normal medical progress. Now they realized how much they had depended on her innovations. The plague sweeping through Zephyrian worlds had been contained for decades by human-developed antibodies. Without those treatments, the crystalline beings were dying by the thousands. Their crystal bodies cracked and shattered as the disease spread through their communities. The Neridians faced an even worse crisis. Their aquatic species had suffered from genetic problems for generations. Human genetic therapy had fixed these problems and allowed their population to grow. But the therapy required constant updates using human research techniques. Without Dr. Haywan and her team, Neridian children were being born with severe defects. Most died within days. The proud aquatic civilization that had ruled the oceans of 100 worlds was facing extinction. On the planet Harmony Prime, former trade coordinator Kyungsu's absence was causing even greater problems. He had managed supply chains connecting over 200 star systems. His logistical networks had been so efficient that other species had stopped maintaining their own transportation systems. Without human coordination, cargo ships got lost in hyperspace. Food shipments spoiled in transit. Medical supplies ended up on the wrong planets while emergencies went without treatment. Entire worlds were running out of basic necessities. The Peaceful Harmony Collective had been hit the hardest. Their beautiful garden worlds had been designed by human terraforming specialist Yun Ji. The atmospheric processors that maintained their perfect climates were human-built and required human maintenance. Now those processors were failing. The air on Harmony worlds was becoming toxic. Millions of beings faced suffocation unless the machines could be repaired. But no alien engineer could understand the complex human designs. In the council chamber, emergency sessions were being held every day. Representatives from dying civilizations begged for solutions that nobody could provide. "We must contact the humans," declared the Neridian ambassador. His aquatic suit was cloudy with stress chemicals. "Our children are dying." "They will not answer our communications," replied the Zephyrian delegate. Her crystal body had stress fractures running through it. "We have tried everything." The Cloudwalker representative pulsed with angry red colors. "This is their revenge. They are committing genocide against us." Chancellor Vorthak wanted to agree, but he knew better. The humans had not attacked anyone. They had simply left. The catastrophes destroying the galaxy were entirely the result of alien dependence on human expertise. A new report arrived on his desk. It was from the Intelligence Division, and it made his blood run cold. "Sir," his aide reported, "our spy satellites have detected something disturbing. The Sol system appears to be missing." "Missing?" the Chancellor demanded. "What do you mean, missing?" "Long-range sensors show empty space where Earth's star should be. No planets, no asteroid belt. No sign that a solar system ever existed. There. It is as if they have vanished completely. The Chancellor stood up so fast that his chair fell backward. This was impossible. Stars did not just disappear. Solar systems could not be moved. Even the most advanced alien technology could not accomplish such a thing. But humans were no longer limited by what aliens thought was possible. Admiral Bogum of the Vorthak fleet studied the sensor data with growing confusion. His ships had been sent to find Earth and force the humans to return. Instead, they found empty space surrounded by some kind of energy barrier that their instruments could not penetrate. "Run another sensor sweep," he ordered his crew. "Sir, we have run 17 sweeps. The results are always the same. There is nothing there except a spherical region of space that our sensors cannot examine." Bogum had spent his entire career fighting space pirates and rebellious colonies. He understood military tactics and political pressure. But this was something beyond his experience. How could an entire solar system hide itself? Back on the remaining worlds, alien civilizations were collapsing faster every day. The Vorthak industrial planets had shut down when their human-maintained fusion reactors failed. Without power, billions of beings faced freezing temperatures as their climate control systems stopped working. The proud warrior culture that had dominated the galaxy for thousands of years was reduced to begging for help from species they had once conquered. Some alien governments tried to reverse engineer abandoned human technology. Teams of their best scientists worked day and night to understand how human machines functioned. But every attempt ended in failure or disaster. Security Chief Jay Ho had built elegant traps into every human system. When alien technicians tried to access human computers, the machines would appear to work normally for a few minutes. Then they would shut down permanently and erase all their data. When aliens tried to copy human weapon designs, the weapons would explode during testing, killing the researchers. When they attempted to duplicate human medical equipment, the devices would produce deadly toxins instead of helpful medicines. The message was clear: human technology only worked for humans. Desperate alien leaders began sending secret diplomatic missions to other species that might have maintained contact with humans. They offered enormous bribes for any information about human locations or communication methods. They found nothing. The humans had vanished so completely that they might never have existed at all. In the ruins of what had once been the galaxy's most prosperous civilization, alien historians began studying the records of humanity's brief time in the galactic community. They tried to understand how one small species had become so essential to everyone else's survival. The answer was disturbing. Humans had not forced anyone to depend on them. They had simply offered help, and aliens had accepted it gratefully. Over time, that help had become so valuable that entire civilizations built themselves around human expertise. Nobody had noticed how much they needed humans until the humans were gone. Chancellor Vorthak sat alone in his office, surrounded by reports of dying worlds and collapsing governments. The Galactic Council that had ruled for 10,000 years was falling apart in a matter of months. He thought about Ambassador Hyunwoo's final words. "Good luck. You are going to need it." The human had known this would happen. They had all known. Humanity's withdrawal was not a desperate escape. It was a calculated demonstration of power that no alien leader had been wise enough to prevent. For the first time in his long life, Chancellor Vorthak wondered if his species deserved to survive what they had brought upon themselves. Deep inside Earth's hidden solar system, Dr. Boram stood before a massive viewing screen that showed the galaxy outside their dimensional bubble. The quantum physicist adjusted her instruments and smiled at what she saw. Everything was going exactly as planned. "The displacement field is holding steady," she reported to President Chang Min, who stood beside her in the observation room. "No alien sensors can detect us, and we can monitor everything happening outside." Chang Min nodded as he watched the chaos unfolding on distant worlds. "How long can we maintain this hiding place?" "Indefinitely," Boram replied. "The dimensional technology uses zero-point energy. We could stay hidden for thousands of years if necessary." The evacuation of human space had been the most complex deception in history. While aliens watched human ships fleeing toward Earth, they had not realized what was really happening. The ships were not just going home. They were disappearing into a parallel dimension that human scientists had been developing in secret for decades. Dr. Na Young, head of the Quantum Monitoring Division, worked at a bank of computers that tracked events across the galaxy. Her screens showed the collapse of alien civilizations in real time. The Zephyrian government fell yesterday, she announced. The Cloudwalker Confederation is splitting into warring factions. The Narration Empire has lost contact with half its colonies. In the months before the Council ultimatum, Earth's leaders had run detailed computer simulations of what would happen if humans withdrew from galactic society. The results had been clear. Alien civilizations would collapse within a year. Simulations had been correct. Cybersecurity Chief Jeho monitored alien attempts to access abandoned human technology. His screens showed dozens of alien research teams trying desperately to understand how human machines worked. Every attempt ended in failure. The Vorthak are still trying to restart the fusion reactors on their industrial worlds, he reported, with amusement. Yesterday they killed another research team when a reactor exploded. The self-destruct systems built into human technology were not random acts of sabotage. They were carefully designed to protect human secrets while sending a clear message. Some knowledge could not be stolen. President Chang Min walked to another viewing station, where Communications Director Sang Woo was monitoring alien diplomatic channels. The messages they intercepted painted a picture of complete desperation. The Council is offering us full membership with veto power over all decisions, Sang Woo reported. They are also promising territorial concessions that would give us control of 50 star systems. Any response? Chang Min asked. None. We are maintaining complete silence as planned. The strategy was working perfectly. By refusing to communicate, humans had become a mystery that grew more frightening every day. The aliens could not negotiate with people they could not find or contact. Meanwhile, human civilization was thriving inside its hidden dimension. The evacuation had brought together the scattered human colonies into a single community. Scientists shared research freely. Engineers collaborated on projects that would have been impossible under alien oversight. Dr. Mi Kyung, Earth's chief strategist, presented her daily briefing to the Human Leadership Council. Our analysis shows that 3 more alien species will face government collapse within 2 weeks. Food shortages are affecting over 200 worlds. Medical crises have killed approximately 50 million beings. She paused and looked around the room. The question we must answer is, what do we do about it? This had always been the hardest part of the plan. Humans were not naturally cruel beings. Watching alien civilizations die was difficult, even when those same aliens had tried to enslave humanity. Some of these species supported the Council's ultimatum, argued Military Commander Ji-hoon. They voted to destroy our independence. Why should we help them? Because that is what makes us different from them, replied Colonial Administrator So Young. We help others not because they deserve it, but because it is the right thing to do. The debate had been going on for weeks. Some humans wanted to let alien civilizations collapse completely. Others argued for providing humanitarian aid. A few suggested selective assistance only to species that had opposed the Council ultimatum. President Chang Min had not yet made a decision. The choice would define humanity's relationship with the galaxy for centuries to come. Outside their dimensional bubble, alien desperation was reaching new levels. The Vorthak Chancellor had sent exploration fleets to every star system where humans had ever been active. They found nothing but empty space and abandoned facilities. Some alien scientists theorized that humans had developed faster than light travel so advanced that they could reach other galaxies. Others suggested that humans had discovered how to travel through time and had fled to a different era. The truth was simpler and more impossible than any alien theory. Humans had learned to step outside normal spacetime entirely. They existed in a pocket dimension that touched the regular universe but remained invisible to all outside observation. Dr. Boram's research team had been working on dimensional manipulation for 30 years. The project had begun as a theoretical study of parallel universes. It had evolved into humanity's ultimate escape plan. We are receiving another diplomatic transmission, announced Communications Director Sang Woo. This one is different. The message appeared on the main screen. Instead of demands or offers, it was a simple plea for help. The sender was a Nereidian doctor whose children were dying from genetic disorders that only humans could treat. "Please," the aquatic being said through tears. "We know you can hear us. Our babies are suffering. I do not care about politics or the council. I am begging you as one parent to another. Help our children." The room fell silent. This was not a government message or a military demand. It was a desperate appeal from one medical professional to another. Dr. He Wan, the former head of Galactic Medical Research, stood up slowly. "I could help them," she said quietly. "Not the governments, not the military leaders, but the doctors trying to save lives." President Changmin looked at her thoughtfully. "That would mean revealing our capabilities." "Not necessarily," Dr. Boram interjected. "We could provide medical supplies without showing ourselves. Anonymous aid delivered to hospitals and clinics." The debate that followed lasted for hours. In the end, humanity's leaders reached a decision that surprised no one who understood human nature. They would help, not because the aliens deserved it, but because humans could not watch children die when they had the power to prevent it. But their assistance would come with conditions, and it would be offered on human terms, not alien ones. The galaxy was about to discover that humans had not disappeared. They had been waiting for the right moment to return. 1 year after humanity vanished, the Galactic Council chamber was a shadow of its former glory. Half the seats were empty. Many alien species had collapsed entirely, or withdrawn from galactic politics to deal with their own survival crises. Those who remained looked exhausted and desperate. Chancellor Vorthak was addressing the emergency session when something impossible happened. A figure appeared in the center of the chamber, glowing with soft blue light. The translucent form was instantly recognizable to every alien present. Ambassador Hyun-woo stood exactly where he had been when he rejected the Council's ultimatum 1 year ago. But this was clearly a holographic projection, not a physical presence. The technology was unlike anything in the alien database. "Greetings," Hyun-woo said calmly, as if he had never left. "I trust you have been well in our absence." The chamber erupted in chaos. Some aliens shouted questions. Others demanded to know where the humans were hiding. A few began making threats about what would happen when human colonies were found and captured. Hyun-woo waited patiently for the noise to die down. When silence finally returned, he continued speaking. "You wanted to know if we could survive without you," he said. His voice carried clearly to every corner of the chamber. "I believe that question has been answered." Behind him, holographic displays materialized in the air. They showed images that made the surviving alien representatives gasp in shock and disbelief. Human cities floated in space, larger and more beautiful than anything aliens had ever built. Fleets of ships moved between worlds using technology that seemed to ignore the known laws of physics. Planets that had been barren rocks were transformed into garden worlds in a matter of months. While you have been struggling to maintain your collapsing civilizations, Hyun-woo continued, humanity has been growing. We now control over 300 star systems. Our population has doubled. Our technology has advanced beyond what you thought possible. Minister Dong-hyun appeared beside Hyun-woo's projection. He wore the uniform of humanity's new government, the Independent Territories Alliance. "We have developed faster-than-light communication, matter conversion technology, and artificial intelligence systems that can solve problems your greatest scientists could not understand." More human leaders materialized in the chamber. Each one represented capabilities that aliens had never imagined. Dr. Haewon displayed medical advances that could cure diseases affecting dozens of species. Engineer Tai Sung showed terraforming equipment that could create perfect worlds in weeks instead of centuries. The alien representatives stared at the displays in stunned silence. This was not the desperate species that had fled Council space a year ago. These humans commanded power that dwarfed anything the galactic community had ever possessed. "How?" whispered the Nereidian ambassador. "How did you advance so quickly?" Hyun-woo's expression softened slightly. "When we were part of your community, we spent most of our time fixing your problems and maintaining your systems. Without those distractions, we were free to focus on our own development. Colonial Administrator So Young stepped forward. We also discovered that cooperation produces better results than competition. Human scientists share all research freely. Our engineers work together instead of guarding trade secrets. Our colonies help each other instead of fighting for resources. The implications were clear to everyone in the chamber. While alien civilizations competed and hoarded knowledge, humans had created a society based on mutual assistance and shared innovation. The results spoke for themselves. Chancellor Vorthak found his voice at last. "What do you want from us?" "Nothing," Yunwu replied simply. "We are completely self-sufficient. We do not need your trade, your technology, or your protection. We are here because you are dying, and we have the power to help." The chamber fell silent again. This was the moment every alien leader had hoped for and feared. Humanity had returned, but not as supplicants begging for readmission to the galactic community. They had returned as the dominant power in the galaxy. "You offer help?" asked the Zephyrian delegate, her crystal body flickering with desperate hope. "On our terms," So Young replied firmly. "The Galactic Council as it exists now will be dissolved. The old system of powerful species controlling weaker ones ends today," she gestured, and new holographic displays showed detailed plans for galactic reorganization. Species that demonstrate genuine commitment to cooperation and mutual respect will be invited to join the human alliance. You will receive medical aid, technological assistance, and territorial protection. "And if we refuse?" the Chancellor asked. "Then you will be left alone to face your problems without our interference," Hyunwoo answered. "We will not force anyone to accept our help or join our alliance, but we also will not allow the old system of exploitation and intimidation to continue." Military Commander Ji-hoon appeared in the chamber. "Any species that attempts to use force against human territories or our allies will discover that our military capabilities have advanced as much as our other technologies." The threat was delivered calmly, but the message was unmistakable. Humanity was no longer the weak species that could be bullied by council ultimatums. They had become the most powerful force in the galaxy. Dr. Mi-kyung presented the specific terms of humanity's offer. Medical aid would be provided immediately to all species facing health crises, regardless of their political decisions. Food and supplies would be delivered to worlds experiencing shortages. Technical assistance would help restart failed infrastructure systems, but long-term alliance would require fundamental changes. Species would need to abandon territorial expansion through conquest. They would need to share technology and resources with alliance members. Most importantly, they would need to demonstrate respect for the independence and rights of other species. "You are asking us to change everything about how we have lived for thousands of years," protested the Cloudwalker representative. "Yes," Hyunwoo agreed, "because your old ways of living nearly destroyed the galaxy. It is time to try something better." Over the following weeks, alien species across the galaxy faced the most important decision in their history. Some governments collapsed as different factions argued over whether to accept human leadership. Others embraced the new alliance eagerly, grateful for any chance to save their dying civilizations. The proud Vorthak Empire split into 3 separate governments. One faction accepted human alliance terms. Another tried to rebuild their old military strength. The third attempted to remain neutral and independent. Within 6 months, the results were obvious. Alliance members received advanced medical treatments that saved millions of lives. Their worlds were restored using human terraforming technology. Their economies recovered as they gained access to human trade networks that connected hundreds of star systems. Non-alliance species continued to struggle with the same problems that had plagued them since the human withdrawal. Some eventually reconsidered and applied for alliance membership. Others maintained their independence but remained isolated and weak. A few species tried to challenge human dominance through military action. These conflicts were brief and decisive. Human defense forces used weapons and tactics that alien military experts could not counter. The aggressive species either surrendered quickly or faced complete defeat. As Hyunwoo's projection began to fade from the council chamber, he delivered humanity's final message to the old galactic order. "We left because you tried to make us slaves," he said. "We return because we choose to be leaders. The galaxy has Room for many different species and many different ways of life. But it has no room for bullies or tyrants. The choice is yours. Work with us as equals, or remain alone with your pride. Either way, humanity will survive and prosper. The hologram disappeared, leaving the alien representatives to contemplate their new reality. The species that had tried to control humanity through threats and ultimatums now found themselves dependent on human charity for their survival. Some alien historians would later write that this day marked the beginning of a new golden age for galactic civilization. Others called it the end of alien independence and the start of human domination, but everyone agreed on one fact. Walking away from the Galactic Council had been the smartest thing humanity had ever done.